interrupt this series of interviews to interaction designers to introduce 2 episodes of a new series. This series is a collaboration with the Participatory Design Conference. For the first time, this conference will be organized in Latin America, and I wanted to support this initiative from my podcast. There will be a series of 5 episodes dedicated to the conference. Before the conference, we will publish 3 of them. During the conference in June 2020, there will be 2 more, and after each, probably 1. You can identify them by the pink color of the logo. We think of these episodes together with Andrea. The idea was to create multilingual audio content, disseminate the conference, and motivate people to participate, and of course also showcase the work of designers who are part of this community. Today, we publish 2 programs that are basically the same. 2 conference chairs, Andrea Botero and Chiara del Gaudio, will tell about it. This episode is in English, the other one in Spanish and Portuguese. Now, let's listen to the talk. My name is Mariana Salgado. This is Design and Diaspora. Now, please tell who are you and why are you organizing Participatory Design Conference this year?
Do you want me to start? I can start this time.
Sure.
So my name is Andrea Botero. I am a designer and researcher. I'm originally from Colombia, but I live already for some years in Helsinki, in Finland. I've been part of the participatory design community for some years already, and we got this idea last year with some colleagues from Manizales, from the Universidad de Caldas, the Faculty of Arts and Humanities, to propose that the Universidad de Caldas could be hosting the conference for 2020. And then we make a proposal, and we got the opportunity to organize the conference in Manizales, and I'm doing it now together with a great group of friends and colleagues like Chiara.
Yes, Chiara.
Okay, I'm Chiara del Gaudio, designer, researcher, and professor in design. I'm Italian, but I spent the last 10 years in Brazil, and now I'm in Canada, at university, teaching here. And during the last 10 years, I, starting to get in contact with the participatory design community, and by probably my being in Latin America, I got in contact with Andrea and started working together. And the last year, she invited me to join her in this adventure of organizing the next conference, Participatory Design Conference. So we have been working together for the last year.
Yeah, that we are doing this together with Leonardo Parra, who couldn't be here today, and Felipe Londoño and Claudia Jurado, who are both teachers at the Universidad de Caldas.
So let's start in the beginning. What is the participatory design?
Okay, that's me this time. So, participatory design. Participatory design is, from my point of view, a design approach, a way of practicing design, a way of looking at design, understanding who actually is taking part, engaged, involved in the design of our realities, and understanding that and acting consequently. So other design, but also non-humans, other also phenomena that take part in the design process. So are we being aware of this? What does this mean? And yes, this means also understanding that design is the political dimension of design and of the design process. Who has the right to participate? Who is actually participating? How this change our way of designing? Participatory design is about all these questions and this way of looking at design.
And in the most simple, but in the most simple terms, it's they used to say that participatory design is a collection of principles and practices to make technology, services, everyday life, environment, and technologies more responsive to human needs, and that's kind of the origin of it. But like Chiara said, it involves questions of of understanding the collective dimension of design process, the political implications of that understanding, with the intention to make the design processes more open to critical inquiry, to mutual learning of all those that are involved.
So how do you think that being part of this community and framing your work as participatory design has influenced what you have been doing?
At least for me, I think that participatory design has helped me to be less naive about my work as designer, that I used to tend to think that I want to help people to do good. That is full of challenges, full of problems, that it's better to be aware of how does one enter these things and be responsive and responsible for the things one initiates and for the things one participates with. So it has helped me to ask better questions of the things I'm interested to do on the process I want to participate in.
Actually, I start to challenge my question, my understanding of design, of my practice, try to have a deeper understanding of it and a more aware one. So I start to kind of review what I learned when I was a student and at the beginning of my research career, and try to understand and try to rethink design. So it allows me to do that. Okay, so if it's not that, how it can be, how can be more than should. It allows me to get in contact with researchers that I admire for their work, and also to learn a lot from them, and also to start, taking the next step. I mean, what does it mean to do participatory design based on the fact that I experienced it, for instance, in South America? So what does that mean? How that changed my understanding also of this participatory design? So it's not just about the community, but also about when I try to participate in this content, what that content showed me. So I think it's that.
Okay, so Participatory Design Conference is organized each 2 years in different parts of the world. So how do you think this conference is going to be different from the previous ones?
Okay, first of all, it's going to be in South America. It's for the first time in South America. Usually it has been organized in Europe, North America, once in Australia and once in Africa. So this is the first time in South America. This brings already some new perspective, and also we introduce some new dynamics. We want to open it to a different understanding and way of practicing participation, which is the South American one. I think this is the first one, which from my own perspective, South America has a tradition and also an everyday its own specific way of doing this. And at the same time, we are challenging the English as the main language of the conference. It still is, but we are opening up space for Spanish and English, Spanish and Portuguese, papers in Spanish and Portuguese. This means that we want not only to get local, researchers closer and allow them to express themselves in their project in their language, and in their own way also writing scientific papers. And this is the first grade, the major difference in terms of organization.
Yes, we are putting a lot of love in the organization. It's going to be a great event.
But also it's the first time that participatory design is going to be trilingual, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. We are trying to experiment.
Andrea, you have been around to very many different design conferences. What's the difference between participatory design and the others?
Well, participatory design is it has been kind of like a very researched, very inquisitive community from the beginning. So one of the things of the conference is that the review process it's very rigorous and very, I would say, generous, that the reviewers and the whole program committee put a lot of effort to help people with their papers. So if you submit to the conference, you would you would get feedback on your paper, even if you don't get accepted. You usually get feedback that's useful for making a better paper next time. It's a nice, interesting, vigorous, committed review process. I think all of us have been part of those, and we know that it takes effort, and people put a lot of effort and put a lot of their energy to help everybody that submits.
Well, this reassure a certain quality of the presentations, like I have been in many other conferences in design, and then some papers are super good and some others are not super good. And I think all this effort that the committee puts in the blind review makes a difference, because most of the papers are of good quality.
That's the ambition, yes. Of course, you always have challenging things, but I think that that the ambition is that the program is going to be interested and it's high quality, because we put a lot of effort with it.
And we are trying to ask reviewers, program committee members, to select papers that actually are relevant for this specific moment of our community, so that allow us to advance our current knowledge in a specific direction. Yeah.
So you have this time a specific topic for the conference, and the topic is about other participations. Do you want to tell us about why did you choose this topic and what this other mean in this context?
I started to tell you about before that participatory design, the main root, the original participatory design as discussed in practices within the Participatory Design Conference and its community is in Northern Europe. We also understand that there are different word views, a different way of understanding the word, and also that kind of specific kind of participation emerged from within a specific context, within a specific both political system, value system. So, what is it participation in another system, where we have a different understanding of the world, where we, for instance, are look at the world through connection that we have with network elements or whatever else. So we understand that there are different ways of looking at the world, and we understand that participation is different in each one of them, and we want to learn from all of them to enrich our practice. So going to South America with this topic, participation otherwise, is actually that. What other way of practicing participation are there, and what others understanding, and how they can, or what we can learn from them. I think obviously it's related to a lot of things that are going on in the current moment in South America, like the concept of communal. Okay, I'm not really good in Spanish, and autonomia, and it's a little bit of challenging also our understanding of design. But participation in design, as when grew up, emerged from modernist understanding of our society. I think also before, and so what if we go back at the same time beyond?
Andrea, do you want to add something to that?
Yeah, I think Chiara has summarized well the idea of that it's not only alternative participation. How is it like the colonials would say, we don't change the concepts, but we change the terms in which we hold the conversation.
In which way are you changing the terms in which you hold the conversation?
No, we should change not only the concepts, but the terms through which we hold the conversation. So we not say like, okay, now instead of voting, we will all take turns to talk. But we actually, okay, are there other, is it that, does that mean participation, or can participation mean other things as well?
This conference is different because it's also organized in parallel to a famous art festival in the same place, right? So do you want to tell us how come that you are organizing at the same time, and what's the addition? Like, why should I go to this conference and also enjoy the festival?
Yeah, because the festival, the La Imagen, is a festival that the University of Caldas has already been arranging for 18 times, and it has been establishing as a very interesting audiovisual culture relationship between art and technology event in Colombia and in Latin America. It's usually something that places Manizales inside a lot of cultural activities with a lot of performances and exhibitions and workshops. So PD will be this time kind of the academic contribution of the festival. The festival is broader. The festival will allow the community to get in touch with other activities and also to these other more broader themes. Also get to know about these discussions that we have about the limits and the possibilities of collaboration, participation, co-creation, and all these at times buzzwords, but also fundamental things to our moment in time.
So if I want to participate, is there a possibility to contribute still?
Well, people can, first of all, obviously they can contribute by submitting papers. They can submit full papers in English, in Portuguese, and Spanish by the 1st of September. And but there are other forms other ways to, by the 1st of December, all the other submissions are expected by the 1st of December, and we're talking about exploratory papers. So if people have initial ideas or interesting practices that they want to share, to which they are starting to understand something about participatory design, they can present them. And we have also workshops and tutorials. People can suggest intense moments of activity about specific topic on which they have experience and knowledge, and that also can contribute to other people's enrichment and advance. We also have a track that is for people that are outside beyond academia. It's it's a call for practitioners that are both working in companies or in other kind of organizations, formally established or not. And we want them to share their practices with us. We've also another track that is conversation. So conversation is a track meant to allow people that start to have some insights and new ideas about for the participatory design community, to suggest them to propose discussions, suggest a format, and have this discussion. So it's a moment in which people can meet more informally. I think that's all.
Okay, and Andrea, what are your expectations for this conference?
Well, I hope that we can have an inspiring conference, that we could talk and have we could ask or raise difficult questions about the things we do and why we do them and the things we need to do. We know there's a lot of crisis in the world, everything from climate warming and change to biodiversity loss and all kinds of other political conflicts, that I think practices of participation, collaboration, and openness can contribute to find solutions or ways forward, different ones, more plural. So I hope we could discuss that kind of things, and we can find good allies, and we can network, and we can find good examples and inspirations from Latin America, from other parts of the world, that could come together and share experience.
Chiara, do you want to add something?
Yeah, I think it will be a nice exercise of openness and participation.
Okay, thank you a lot for the talk.
Thank you, Marie,
Thank you
for inviting us, and we are waiting you in Manizales.
Sure,
Yeah.
I will be there. As usual, the music of the episode is